What's up, YouTube? This is Brett.
I'm Lance.
And this is Rants or Us. Alright, so today we're going to be talking about a new show. I say somewhat new show. It's been on for 4 weeks,
it's
but
halfway
it's
through.
it's going to be one of our favorite shows, and that's Starz' Heels. What do you think about it, Lance?
I love it. I told you.
I
told you needed to watch it.
when he first told me about it, and he was like, Heels, I was thinking, this is going to be a show I could probably watch with my wife. No, it's not going to be.
My wife won't watch it.
Huh?
My wife won't watch it.
You won't watch it?
No.
I don't blame her. There is some instances where my wife would be like, oh, I'm done with this. But overall, this is an amazing show. Stephen Amell does a great job. Alexander Ludwig does a great job as brothers.
They do really good getting away from prior characters.
Yes. Oh.
But, going from being Oliver Queen all the time to being Jack Spade and going from being Bjorn to Ace Spade, they're starting to separate. I don't see Bjorn or I don't see Oliver Queen.
Yeah. Look. See, I kind of look. That's where you and I kind of differ. I struggle with Stephen Amell to a certain extent. Yeah, it could very well be.
I think it
but
is.
I mean, it's like I see Arrow in him in this show, but I do see where you're saying there is a progression, and it does seem like. I think at the episode 4, it seemed like he starts changing.
I think with the first couple episodes, I could still see a little bit of Oliver Queen, but he slowly started getting better at differentiating the characters that he's now playing compared to what he was playing. And he's gotten better with it, I think, throughout the series.
Yeah.
It'd be like you can almost forget he was Oliver Queen. Not quite, because...
Now, forgive me if I always say Bjorn on this, but Alexander Ludwig, when I first saw this show, that was the biggest problem that I absolutely had, was
when you
trying
saw the
to differentiate. Yeah. When I saw that, I'm like, I didn't really like his acting in Vikings, much as I love Vikings.
I never saw, from the first time I started watching this, I never saw Bjorn.
Yeah.
I saw Ace.
Yeah.
And so I was impressed with that because I didn't think that was going to work out so well.
Does a great job.
Maybe it's because he's shirtless all the time and he can't be like this.
Yeah. It's like,
I don't know.
But if it was Travis Flamel, he would be screwed.
He'd find a way.
He'd be like, grabbing his hair.
He'd find a way.
He'd be like holding his hand.
But no, I think the whole cast as a whole does really good. I was impressed with James Harrison's acting. Like, we watched him play football for years. I didn't expect him to be able to.
To be honest, he's like one of these. He don't have very many lines,
but
he takes over.
It might change. He's definitely what I would consider a hidden gem.
Definitely. You know what? But as far as Jack Spade and Ace Spade is concerned, like, how do you like the turmoil between the brothers? Do you think it's too much, too little?
I think it's going to be a lot of back and forth with them. I think their relationship's going to get better, then it's going to get worse. Then it's going to get better, then it's going to get worse.
I actually can kind of see that.
I do see a lot of back and forth with that, and I feel like that's needed to an extent because,
I feel like you're going to get...
Every hero needs a villain, but now I'm interested to see how they're going to play this since now where we're at, spoiler alert, they're both heels.
Yeah.
So how are they going to be able to stay against each other if one of them isn't a face? Like, that's going to be...
you and I, we both...
I'm talking about, like,
wrestling.
You can't have a long-term rivalry between two heels or two faces. One of them's going to have to flip.
Yes, I would actually agree with you.
And Ace being such a good heel, I would almost
because you don't want boo and the boo.
With Ace being able to turn and be such a good heel at this point, I don't want to see him turn back to face already. So I would rather Stephen Amell go the face route and see. I would like to see how he could do with that because he's been a heel since the show started.
Yeah.
So we don't know what kind of face he would make. Like,
and
with wrestling, there's turns like this all the time.
Yeah, and
anybody that's a wrestling fan
expects it. You know that your character is not always going to be probably the good guy, and probably not always going to be the villain.
That's what Jack said to Ace when he was so upset about turning heel.
Yeah.
He's like, you can turn back.
Yeah, it's not like that's
You
a
can turn
permanent
back.
role.
Yeah,
Like
you're
you
not
know,
always going to be like this,
no,
but
I
they're
mean,
not willing to accept you as a face
Yeah.
right now. You have to do
yeah,
something.
you have to do something to kind of change
It's kind
it
of
up.
like in real wrestling, in my opinion, real
Yeah.
WWE right now. Roman Reigns, they could not push him. They pushed him and pushed him and pushed him and pushed him for years to be a face of the company, and the fans just would not respond.
Yeah.
Now they've switched him heel finally, and everybody is tuning in to see that.
Yeah.
And that's what you have to do sometimes. And I'm sure within the next year or so, he'll be a face again. And it's just like this. Like,
Yeah. I kind of feel like
anybody that knows that industry knows how this plays out. You know?
Yeah, and I kind of feel like when Ace was like, "Oh, I don't want to be that," I kind of felt like that was kind of like a juvenile kind of way of thinking.
Well,
especially if you grew up watching wrestling and being around wrestling, it's like you said, there's ups and downs, and there's.
But I get it too. That was him trying to hold on to his dad. His dad was a face. He wanted to be.
Yeah, the face of
like that because of his father.
Yeah.
And Jack had to be like, yeah, he was a face on the show.
Yeah, but in real life.
In real life, he wasn't a great guy.
Yeah. But I mean, look, there was some moments in this show that just completely and totally blew me away. The scene with the father, that was unexpected.
That for me, for sure. Like, I was like... I couldn't wait for you to watch this so I could talk to you about it because I was like, I didn't see that coming because like when you read the description of the episode, it's like, oh, Jack has to bring in an older wrestler to boost the ratings.
Yeah.
And I thought he was the older wrestler that Jack was bringing in.
Yeah,
Until he was like,
I know. And I'm like, that deer should go up for murder.
I don't know.
I'm
man.
like, was the deer the thing that's like?
No, I feel like the company was failing.
Yeah.
Everything at home was falling apart. He was having to fix it. He just mowed, then he fixed the sign, then he fixed the fence for her garden, and then the deer got in there and was eating the garden anyway. He's like, screw it.
Yeah, I mean,
like, enough is enough.
Yeah, I kind of almost feel like that was.
I wish we could get more about that. Like, other than, they haven't really given us that full story yet, but I think we will get it. I think Jack and Ace are going to find things out about their father's personal life, which led up to this.
Yeah, I think they're going to maybe kind of come to the conclusion that maybe, just maybe, he was not the greatest dad, but he had his struggles. Now, with whether it be the company or whether it be
as far as
trying to make a living with this and the struggles that comes with that.
Knowing that he was at the end of his career, what were they going to do to keep this company alive? Because he didn't have too many matches left.
No.
At that point. And so that's a hard pill to swallow as a professional in a sport like that. How much longer? I don't have much longer to do this, and everything's crumbling.
Yeah, I almost kind of feel like that part when the dad committed suicide, that part hit hard on me because it almost kind of feels like a lot of if you know anything about wrestling, you see a lot of these old wrestlers struggling with the fact of, what do I do now? This has been my life for. But you see that with athletes just in general. But I think it's even harder with that because of the crowd.
Knowing the industry the way I do, wrestlers have a very hard. Well, older wrestlers, maybe not nowadays because everything's changed, but older wrestlers take Scott Hall and Sting and those from that generation. They had hard lives, the drug addictions, the alcohol, the just on the road all the time, barely making ends meet, and I would put their father in that generation because he's an older wrestler, and so I don't know what all he went through,
I'm telling you, I feel
that's
like
a hard life.
I feel like this Heels encapsulates everything that it is to work in that industry, to go through the struggles, the ups and downs, the family life, the struggles of being of changing your character. You think
and
something
not bringing that home with you, like what Jack was telling Ace, like, you're a heel now, but you got to check that. Like, you can't come home and be the bad guy.
Yeah.
And Ace is obviously having a problem with that, and I think that's why he keyed Bobby Pinn's call.
Yep.
He can't separate himself from the character yet.
Yeah.
And that's partly because he's been doing this for 6 months a year. And he doesn't have the experience.
Yeah. Well, that leads me to to kind of what we were talking about bringing it home. Wild Bill, by far one of my favorite characters on this show.
I'm hit or miss with him.
Wild
I'm hit
Bill.
or miss with him. He gets on my nerves. I'm like, no man in your 60s is acting this way.
I almost see. There's times with Wild Bill that I'm like, oh man, you remind me of the sheriff on True Blood a little too much. Like I see.
I didn't watch True Blood.
You didn't. I watched it for like the first
now,
2 seasons.
You want to talk about Wild Bill?
I
did think. Now, the guy who plays Wild Bill plays that part perfectly. Don't get me wrong. But I thought he was going to commit suicide at the end.
Oh, I did too.
Episode 4.
Thought I really
and
did.
If you're not caught up, sorry, spoilers.
But hey, you want to know something when it comes to Wild Bill? That's talking about a guy that brought it home. He is Wild Bill. He feels like he
that's
has
what I'm saying.
to play that
That's
role.
not one of my favorite characters.
Yeah.
But that's where I've seen it going. That was their dad's best friend. He killed himself because he lost everything. Now, Wild Bill's losing everything. Is he going to go down that same road?
Yeah, I kind of feel like that.
I think he might. I kind of hope he doesn't. Because the show would be missing something for sure without Wild Bill.
It really would be.
I could see it happening just to kind of.
I think Wild Bill, kind of his relationship with Ace kind of works in a lot of ways.
It does.
It separates him from Jack.
I want to know what Wild Bill meant when he was talking to Willie and was like, Jack's the reason Tom killed himself.
Hey, you know what? I don't know.
I'm like, what do you mean?
Maybe because he was coming up and his star was
maybe
lower.
he was already.
Maybe it was.
See, that's what I need to know. Like, was Jack already wrestling when his dad killed himself?
I feel like they don't do a good job.
I know Ace wasn't.
Expanding on it. Yeah.
But I'm wondering if Jack was because Jack said Ace never even wanted to be a wrestler. I talked him into this after Dad died. So was he already wrestling? And Ace wasn't, but then when their dad died, he talked Ace into joining it with him.
That's, you know what? That's actually something that I was kind of contemplating on that too, because we know that thing with Ace, but we don't really know so much with Stephen Amell.
With Jack, yeah. One thing I wish that I hope they expand on is divisions in the wrestling. Maybe make a tag team division. Yeah. Maybe a women's division for sure, because Crystal's going to be a superstar at some point. She's gonna be a wrestler.
Crystal, and this is just my prediction.
I think the only reason they haven't yet is she ain't got nobody to fight. Yeah,
Crystal is gonna be a gigantic part in season 2.
I think she's gonna be a gigantic part of the entire show.
Yeah, I think
throughout.
I mean, I would even go so far to say maybe she's gonna become the face of the franchise.
They talking about in episode 4. Bobby Pin said that they're gonna push my rival with Ace further.
Yeah.
So. Maybe that's the face-heel rivalry we're going to get for a while.
Yeah.
But then Jack was like, whichever one of y'all wins gets a shot at the title. Yeah. So I'm like, where are they going to go with this? Are they just going to take the title off of Jack for a while and let Bobby Pin and Ace fight that out?
Almost thought CM Punk was going to play a big role in it, but I don't think he's.
I think he was just. I think he was a one-offer, honestly.
Yeah. And of course, then there's the whole,
He looks so different.
Yeah, he really did. The thing even with the other wrestling company trying to buy him out.
The thing with Stacy going to work, that's kind of an issue. He tries to act like he wants her to work if that's what she wants, but you can kind of tell he also has that image of we're kind from the South, and you're supposed to be at home raising my kids while I'm going to work and wrestling.
It's like he's feeling like he's not living up to the standards.
He feels like he's failing.
And
maybe that's how Tom started to feel. So have they taken him down the same road as his father? Or
that's a very good point on that one, because it very could well end up. Right now they're kind of pushing Ace as kind of like the villain kind of in a way. But I think they're going to kind of switch on that.
I think so too, because the thing is, you remember when their dad killed himself. He come home. He was working out. He was in the same role as Jack. He ran that company. He wrote all the storylines, what Jack does now. Now, he comes home. his yard was growed up, things needed fixed. He did all this, and it just became so much acute.
Yeah.
Well, we already seen that Jack's yard was growed up, needed tending to, and his wife had to do it.
Yep.
So how's he's starting
It's
to
the
feel
same
inadequate?
way.
Yeah, I see it. I see it measuring up, and I hadn't thought about that really until we got to talking just now. But
now, as far as
I could see them trying to. I don't think they're going to kill him off like
I don't
that.
know. They're not going to kill him off.
I think that they're going to show some serious struggles with Jack.
Look, I think this show's got potential to last a long time.
I hope.
And I'll say this: when it comes to this show, the more seasons that it goes, the bigger the wrestling company is going to be.
Yeah,
and then the more struggles that you're going to see more struggles on him.
And more responsibilities, and I think that might be one of those things where he's already kind of sees that, and so that's why he's like, all right, Ace, I'll let you help me write this. We'll see what you got. And Ace wrote that promo, and they went with it. They shot the promo, and it was great. And it was great. Like, that was better than some promos I see in real wrestling.
I know. Really, in a lot of ways, it really was.
So I liked it.
What about Bobby Pins? Do you think you think that they're gonna make him up into like
I think they're gonna make a love triangle between him, Crystal, and Ace.
Yeah.
And that will push that rivalry from just being rivalry in the company.
And then they'll have to add it to the to that, in which I think
because if there's something between Crystal and Bobby Pin, you know how Crystal was like, I can't be seen with you in public because you got a rivalry with Ace. But if there's becomes something real between them in real life, maybe they switch it up in the story where she leaves Ace or she turns on Ace to help Bobby Pin, and now they've got a relationship. Wrestling. You know how wrestling is. I mean, they can go in any crazy route, or they could make it even more interesting where they've been seen in public, but then in the show she turns on Bobby Pin. Yeah,
and so it could go either way. Now, I know you had talked about before we did this video, and it was something I really hadn't thought about that much, was Ace's friend that was on
Big Jim.
Big Jim. You were like, I kind of wish, I kind of, you're like, I kind of wish that they would have added more on him.
Yeah,
I because think that would have been
the first episode, it was, this is my best friend, like, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And then he has the kid, he wants to retire. I get that, but he could still be a part of, like, behind the, like, when they're out in public, him going and helping. Like, when Ace was all drunk and acting a fool because he lost his contract, maybe Big Jim could have came, but his wife went in labor. Maybe that's why they didn't. But they could have wrote that a lot better, you know.
I see where you're going with that, and I kind of feel like
maybe it was him that went and found Ace instead of Jack, and maybe pushed that, like push the storyline like, well, you're better brother than me than Jack is.
Yeah, like, and I kind of thought that was where they were going.
I thought
and
they would do something like that,
and that was I thought kind of interesting and cool. But I'll tell you who I think is going to be. I actually don't think it's going to be Jack and Ace going against each other for next season. I think it's going to be Rooster.
I definitely think there's going to be something with Rooster, but
I think he's going to turn into either the heel, or either he's going to turn into the face of it, and it'll be at least for that.
The problem I have with the whole Rooster thing is I think he's going to start to cause some real problems in the real life part if he doesn't get the push that he wants.
Oh, I think he will too.
And I think actually that's going to cause a rivalry between him and James Harrison, because they kind of already see Jack differently.
I kind of feel like when it comes to Rooster, he's going to bolt eventually. He's going to go to that other thing,
I think
and then he's going to be the face of that franchise.
I think what's going to happen is that other organization is going to be like, we'll push you if you just come over here. Yeah. And so then that's going to cause problems, because eventually I think these companies are going to have to go head to head.
Yeah. But overall, when it comes to story, what would you give?
Now, the thing about that other company always kind of crapping on Duffy Wrestling or whatever is, if we suck so much, why do you want to buy us out to get our talent?
I kind of feel that way too.
So I'm like,
I'd take that as a compliment more than I would.
Yeah. I don't know why Jack was like, screw this place. How much they offer? Why are you even considering this, man? No.
But at the end of the day, what would you give the story? Do you think the story is working?
I love it. And when I first saw the trailer, I was like, I'll try this. I'm not gonna like this because I'm such a wrestling fan that I felt like it was just gonna be super, super cheesy, super bad. But it's really a great show.
I thought with Alexander Ludwig that I was going to see Bjorn throughout this show, and it did not turn out that way. And I'm really
the same with Stephen Amell.
Yeah.
I'm starting to see a big turnaround.
Yeah,
from
I
Oliver
think Stephen
Queen.
Amell is.
But yes, I was very impressed with Alexander Ludwig because
he was the one I was worried with.
I was too because I've never been. There's.
I thought he was a bad actor with Bjorn.
You thought he was worse than I did, but he wasn't a great actor as Bjorn by no means. No. But I really think this is the role for him.
I think it is too. I think Starz.
I was worried about him playing a Georgia country boy.
Yeah.
When I first heard about this, but he does it right. They both do. I mean, there's one thing with Stephen Amell.
Stephen Amell with the dip and
trying to take a dip of snuff, and you could tell he didn't know what he was doing, or it was just cringy because he knew it was going to be nasty. Yeah. I mean, and I don't fault him for that because he's not from the world. From that. But they could have coached that a little better. I don't know. Got some food coloring and beef jerky.
Yeah,
and made it look like snuff. I mean,
they could
to where it wouldn't have made him feel so uncomfortable.
I think it was a thought more than it was the actual taste.
Maybe I don't know. It don't taste.
I don't know.
But.
Yeah, but I mean, but overall, I mean, I think the story, the characters, I think Crystal. Makes this show in a lot of ways for me.
It's very.
I thought Stacey does a good job when it comes to
Stacey. I'm like, okay, I'm hit and miss with her because there's times where I think she's gonna make an issue about something, and then she's just like, okay. Like, why did you buy 10 fog machines? The show needed them. Okay.
Yeah, no, I think this is gonna be some marital problems, and then I'm like.
Yeah, and then they just kind of draw back. Now, Crystal, when they first showed Crystal, trying to go into the locker room where she didn't belong, I thought I was not going to like her character at all.
Yeah, I thought
the first episode, she's one of my favorites.
Yeah, she actually is one of my favorites.
Because, they made it look like she was just basically like a hang around.
Yeah.
And then you see her real life story. Yes. Like she's basically raising her brother and sisters.
Yeah.
And
she is literally
she has
turned into more of a
story.
Hero.
She's got a very good story.
And see, that's one thing I love about this show is you've got the main story, but then when it diverts in these side characters, it's interesting. You have the Crystal and the Bobby one. You have the Ace, dealing with the grief. You have Jack and his wife dealing with trying to be able to handle the situation.
They were trying to make Bobby Pin a new character. They came up with this Bobby 85, which was interesting. I was going to see. I wanted to see how they did it, but I liked how when she saw him out in public with these kids, autographs and pictures, and she was like, "You don't need to be Bobby 85. You just need to be you. You're the perfect
Bobby.
face. Just be you."
Yeah.
And I love that. So I'm interested to see where this is going to go.
And then, of course, even the Wild Bill storyline, I enjoyed that. I think, he's kind of a dick, but that's kind of what this show needs in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I mean,
they need that guy. This is wrestling. They need somebody that stands out like that.
And like what we were talking about with Ace and Jack being heels right now, though, what my thing is, one of them's gonna have to turn because every hero needs a villain. Every villain needs a hero. Yeah. Like you can't. I don't see them having a good brother versus brother rivalry if they're both heels.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't think it.
I thought you know what.
Maybe a season, but then after that season, it's coming back.
Maybe put the title. This is what I said. If their wrestling promotion gets bigger, maybe put the title on Bobby Pin. And Jack and Ace be a tag team for a little while. See how that goes as a heel tag team.
And you could have Bobby and Crystal, and then you could have
against
James
Harrison.
Jack. That would be kind of cool too.
James Harrison and Rooster.
That would be kind of interesting, but I don't think Rooster would be for that.
I don't think so either. But or maybe put James Harrison's character with Diego Cottonmouth.
That could work.
I
feel like there's so many little things
now,
that they
obviously,
could go, and they can change it up.
This is just starting out, but the cast of the show is going to get bigger. There's going to be more wrestlers. There's going to be more female superstars. And
does it worry you that it's produced by Starz? because the way they did American Gods.
Me, not as much as you. You've watched more things on Starz than I have.
I feel like Starz doesn't give the support to their shows that they actually need to. They don't give the support, and they don't give the support to the actors. They don't give support to really promoting the show the way it should be.
I feel like they did with American Gods at first, but they wrote off their big stars too quickly.
Yeah, no doubt.
What happened with American Gods was Mad Sweeney. I don't care what anybody says. Once Mad Sweeney was gone, that show went down the tubes.
I agree with you on that.
And as long as they can stay away from doing that, like, don't kill Jack off.
Yeah.
Or, you know.
If they kill, look, I think Jack and...
No, I think Jack and Ace are safe.
Yeah, I think they're safe.
But I'm just saying, if they can manage their characters right, this show could go on for 5-6 seasons.
I think it could be. I think this could be the next big show. Only thing, and I do worry about Starz. Because I feel like Starz...
At first I wasn't worried because I didn't realize it was Starz. I thought it was an Amazon thing because that's where I was watching it. But then I realized it's Starz. But
I almost kind of wish they would switch.
That it was Amazon?
Yeah, they would have switched to
I would
Amazon
say that too, except for after I seen
The
how
Boys,
Amazon did The Boys. So that scares me.
True. So I mean...
But now, season 3, we might change our mind on The Boys, but that's another
that's a whole
conversation.
But overall... You love the show. I love the show. I think this is going to be
like I said, I was very surprised that you did because you're not as big into these type of shows as I am. And like I said, when it was about wrestling,
but I'm not really into sports and things like that.
When it was about wrestling, I was like, I don't know if I want to watch this. I'm such a wrestling head,
Yeah.
But it's great. It's great.
I mean, look, now that I've become a huge fan of Alexander Ludwig's character, Ace, I'm like, okay, that was my only concern about this show.
You had a problem with him as an actor, and I think he's winning you over.
He's won me over already. He's won me over, and that was my
I've always
only
been
problem
a big.
with it.
I've been a big Stephen Amell fan for years because of Arrow.
Yeah,
but it is hard for me to be like, he's not Oliver Queen.
Yeah, I know.
But it's hard for me to dislike him though because of how much I loved him as Oliver Queen. So you get biased like that.
But, no doubt.
But
overall, guys,
I think he'll win you over.
I do believe that he will. There's going to be a lot of twists and turns, but hey, this is a wrestling show.
Now the only negative thing,
and it's going to work.
The only negative thing I can say about this show is I have to go Sunday through Sunday.
I love that. I don't have a problem. I'm tired of being watching. You should have learned that from the Umbrella Academy.
You watched the first 4 episodes of this, and you're like, I gotta wait a whole week.
I know.
You called me and said, when's this come out? I said, Sunday. You said, crap, I gotta wait a week.
I know.
So you have a little bit of a problem with it.
True. I will give you that. I can't say nothing after that. But overall, I do.
Now I do think that if all 8 episodes were already on there, by the end of it, we'd be like, "Oh my God, is this over yet?"
Well, see, this is.
But maybe not because it's only 8. Where Umbrella Academy was only 10.
Yeah.
So
well, I feel like when you have binge-worthy shows, when it's like they
all
come out
binge-worthy shows. Netflix puts a category on that says binge-worthy shows, and it's got a lot of crap on it.
Yeah. But I feel
this is a true binge-worthy show.
Yeah, it really truly is.
And
it's
rewatchable. That's what I was about to say. There's only 4 episodes right now, but I'd go back and rewatch them.
I've already gone back and rewatched them.
I have not yet.
I actually, and it's just as good the second go around as what it is.
I think it would almost be better because you catch little things that you might have overlooked the first time.
It's like it adds depth to the characters that you already like.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways. But overall, I don't actually have that many bad things to say about it. I think it's a great show. I think it's going to get better.
Got a lot of potential.
I think it has a lot of potential, especially when you add you're adding some of these characters that are kind of minor characters. Like even I say minor, but like Crystal. I think when they start adding her more to the wrestling aspect of it, I think she's going to get bigger and better.
Crystal,
and she's going to be.
I didn't expect to say this. By no means, Crystal is one of my favorite characters.
Yeah. And Bobby, I thought he was going to be.
I thought he was going to be a little side character.
I did too, but I'm a huge fan of him. I'm like you. I think we're going to see an Ace Bobby kind of fight kind of going on and off the screen.
Yeah.
I think that's going to add some real character development.
I think you've already seen a little bit of it. Yeah. Not like just with Ace keying his Bronco, but like he was like, I'm still pissed. Ace ain't apologized to you.
Yeah, I
for
know.
the way he treated you.
I just
she's
feel-
like, he's not gonna, so don't hold your breath.
Yeah,
so,
I know.
but yeah, so I think on and off.
I think.
I want to say screen, but it's not really. But
Yeah.
On and off of wrestling screen, there's going to be some real heat between
I think
them.
it is, and I think it will add to this show.
Oh, definitely.
It will add to this show.
Definitely,
I'm already looking forward to season 2, and season 1's not even over.
Because you already seen the rivalries in wrestling, even between like Ace and Jack. But then when they go home, they're all right.
Yeah.
You want to see some drama in their real life, not just on the
But you don't want to see too much
But
drama
not too much.
Like that.
I agree with that.
Like Yellowstone, I got horribly into that. And with Yellowstone, there got to be a little bit too much family drama. That kind of turned me off of it.
I couldn't get into this.
And
I tried.
Yeah, and that kind of got me. But I don't want that necessarily on this one.
Again, you messed up and binge watched Yellowstone.
Yes,
like
I
3
did.
straight seasons.
Now that I think about it, I'm bad at binge watching.
You are, and then complaining about it.
I know. Umbrella, because every time I think binge worthy, I think of that time we binge watched Umbrella Academy.
Yeah,
and that was a freaking nightmare.
I can tell you now, that won't happen again.
No, that will never happen again. But overall, I'm excited about season 2 already. I can already see all the multiple different ways that it can go, and it can probably go in all these different directions. So all the problem is
we're probably going to have to wait like a year for season 2.
Don't get me started on that.
We're halfway through season 1.
I know. But I can see it in a million different ways and going, and I think as long as
Starz doesn't screw it up, they've got a diamond in the rough right here.
Yeah, as long as Starz, like you said, as long as Starz supports their actors, supports the show like it needs to, promotes it in the way that it needs to be promoted, I think it'll overall be a great show for years and years to come.
Yeah, I like I said, I could see 5, 6 seasons if they do it right.
But I mean, that's pretty much all I got.
That's all I got. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, thanks for watching, guys. And let us know if y'all like heels, if you love heels, if you want to see more heels on Rants or Us, let us know in the comments down below. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Take care.